Good afternoon, Rainbow Brigade. It's Paul the Rainbow Man. I'm back with you again after an absence of about a week and a half. What a wonderful few days it was for Brad and I. I can't tell you how much we enjoyed our time away from the routine of being home and just to get away from this so familiar environment. It just gets to be really a drag sometimes when you don't see any hills, you don't see any seasonal changes, you don't see anything that smacks of the holiday season. But we were really lucky when we flew into Los Angeles. It was a wonderful day in itself because it was raining the Sunday that we got in, and I think that almost every Angelino and county and Orange County person were just tickled to death with the rain after an absence of so long. It was a good rain amount. It was almost an inch in many areas. Some of the higher elevations had over inch and a half, which is great. So the burn areas were sort of calmed down and saved us a few weeks of worry by the fire departments, because it's a popular holiday time to be walking around the parklands in Southern California, and they probably weren't so well prepared to deal with the onslaught of visitors. But oh my goodness, we just really enjoyed it. After the rain ended, they said it was going to be nasty on Monday. It cleared out a lot sooner in the Hollywood area, and we were able to just enjoy a beautiful day of exploration in the neighborhood that we stayed. Guys, something that you might want to keep in mind when you're visiting SoCal the next time, Hollywood B&B off Melrose and Orange Grove. What a wonderful place it is. It's just a throwback into history of Hollywood, and a lot of murals, a lot of camp, a lot of really nice memorabilia that's just really generously lavished on the guests who just kind of look at it. You don't really need to be guided to it because you recognize a lot of it. But it's just a really fun place to be. The proprietors, Nina and William, were wonderful. Well, Brad had an issue about putting his cigarette butts in the can provided by the street, which he didn't do the first time, and Nina called him on that. I was a little annoyed, but I figured she's probably right. It's her house, and we weren't paying it the due privilege of being there. So I think I'm glad that Nina did say that, and it also cut Brad's smoking down for a few days. And I said, "Yay!" I'm so happy to see that. But really, it was wonderful. I felt great. He felt great. I had been insisting that we go to SoCal for the longest time. It's been a while that I've been back to my second home and my favorite place to be me, I should say. I didn't say a thing to him. He made the reservations and he made the plans. We were originally going to go to New Orleans for Thanksgiving and be with some other friends, and which would have been fine too. But the ace in the hole was our visit to a place that he hadn't been, and I could just shut up and watch his eyes and his reactions. And I heard so much baloney from him about what Los Angeles was going to be like, and I didn't say a darn thing because it was just good to watch. And he took to it. I said to him before we got out of the car at the airport, that one day we just drove around a little bit. It was nasty, but we had an idea. We wanted to go for Lobster Enchiladas at Casa Vega in Sherman Oaks. And we knew about them because of Jeff Lewis's flipping out on Bravo. Well, we saw the renovation of that place several years ago. We saw the person he was working with, and I've been talking up Lobster Enchiladas for the longest time. I think it was probably what was the salesmanship that I exposed as being the pro that I am in terms of manipulativeness. But at any rate, it was good. My manipulativeness is it's well intentioned, and it really doesn't hurt the person. They don't feel being had. I just want to say, see, I told you it wasn't such a bad idea that I had. But anyway, he liked it from the very first. The proprietor was as friendly as he possibly could be. His name was Joaquin, and Crystal was his daughter, who we knew from television. She aged a little bit, but I didn't recognize her. But she, when she knew how we knew about Casa Vega, she said, Jeff Lewis's entourage. So I said, yeah. And we were just bowled over immediately by the gregariousness of Southern Californians in every aspect of where you go. Talking to you, engaging you, smiling at you, being polite to you. We're not used to that from the flatlands of Florida and Miami's pretty undying overall mentality, which is to ignore you or sneer at you or be snarky. And you guys who have moved to Florida but not to Miami, you don't know what we deal with down here. Your areas, if you're in the Tampa area or the Orlando area or the Pensacola area, which I love, you get people from different parts of the country. But we are really overwhelmed by the really cranky New Yorker. I guess they don't feel so good anymore since their kids pushed them off the couch they were staying on in Long Island or New Jersey and said, "Mom or Dad, you have a wonderful place to go where your bones won't get cold, Miami." Well, they do mind it because they really know that it's not a substitute for New York. And it's not nearly as friendly as it could be. I hate that about this area, but that's another story. But we just really, we enjoyed the interaction, and it was without fail, nonstop. Wherever we went, it was just romantic, and aesthetically just a magnificent week. The sky was as blue as we've seen. And our most romantic moment was just enjoying on I guess it was Thanksgiving evening, the sun setting into the Pacific at Santa Monica. And it was beautiful. It was about a 63-degree temperature. There was a light breeze blowing in from the south. It was an onshore breeze. It was just beautiful. And I said, Brad, I don't want to do anything else tonight. Just to remember the wonderful things that we've had to experience these last few days. And just go see a sunset. And it fulfilled every beautiful thought that I had that possibly could be. And being our 20th anniversary, we did it 1 year late. I wanted so badly to do a 20th anniversary party at the Abbey, and which, knowing people from Facebook, my friends will kind of know how that turned out to be a disaster, and we ended up not doing it because there were so many frayed nerves and unintentional slights for some people. I really was hoping that wouldn't have been a problem, but yeah, people got a little bit upset with me. I put too much responsibility assumed on them to coordinate a guest list and a menu and everything. I said, no, I didn't want it to be that way. I just wanted to have everyone involved. They got involved, all right. We ended up not going for that, but then we had our beautiful 20th anniversary celebration these past few days. So yeah, it's been wonderful. And a little surprise here too, which I was overwhelmed. Brad and I went shopping Saturday like we usually do, and we were doing our errands, and he took me to the jewelry store. He said, "Well, this is something we talked about a long time ago." And I said, "Oh, wow, I didn't think that you still was interested." We talked about it and we kind of not talked about it. Well, we picked out rings. After all this time, yes, I've been ringless. I was in awe. He took charge of that whole thing, and we picked a really pretty ring out. It's going to be ready, I think, in a couple of weeks, before Christmas anyway. And I was choked up. He hasn't done that kind of thing in a while. I mean, starting with the trip to California, he's exhibited a real renaissance, and it's really turned on my pilot light from just sort of half-baked to wow. And I really enjoyed the opportunity to celebrate with him. And yeah, we'll have our ceremony. We're going to pick a place to go. I said I'd like to go to Venice or Santa Monica Beach again and do a ceremony in the sunset. But you know, I don't know if we're going to do that. We might go to Key West. We might go just across the state to Naples to see a sunset in the Gulf. We enjoy also Mobile area. Fairhope has a nice pier, and you can see the sunset going over Mobile Bay. So we'll see. But yeah, it's beautiful, really beautiful.